I'm Tim, joined by the coach, the logo, and the guy who took the last Capri Sun, Johnny Fadul. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm good. We can talk about the fact that you were like a celebrity at the party and you got recognized by multiple
So,
people.
so everyone at Jade's party who reached out and said something, you are always appreciated as our listeners,
Your
especially
nickname was
Meredith's mom.
your nickname was The Voice.
Wow, it's a high honor.
That's like it's like you and Joe Tate.
It's definitely not the brains the way I've been picking games. Uh,
That's cool though. It was like
yeah, it was a fun day.
yeah.
So we got a fun episode, NBA Finals, which hasn't been as fun as we would have liked. Talk a little bit PGA Tour, NBA offseason, and maybe some baseball if we have time. Maybe
Yep.
not though. We'll see. So NBA Finals, tonight we're recording. It's Friday night. Game 4 is about to start. Celtics are up 3-0, which surprises me. Game 1 you had a Boston blowout. Game 2, tight game. Kyrie kind of falters a little bit. Boston wins. Game 3, Luka fouls out. They make a great run before that. What was it, like a 20-2 run, but just didn't have enough. So, Johnny, what are you expecting for Game 4? What are you expecting the rest of the series? Do you think we're even talking about this next week?
So we'll get to game 4 in a second. With game 3, okay, I just want we on the pod went from we love Luka, but he cries way too much, to giving him a stupid amount of credit for stopping that during the playoff.
Yeah.
And then game 3 was absurd. Like, did you see the clip of Doris Burke in game?
No.
Like he didn't get back on defense. Like he shot some BS and then was just crying and didn't get back. And it was like a 5-on-4. They got a 3. They were like up 5 at this point in like the second quarter or something. And she's calling him out just because like, all right, like here we go again. Like get back on D. This is costing your team every time. So I just think I don't know like how you grow out of that, or like it gets too late to grow out of it this year, right? Like
Right.
he's going to do that.
You're not going to change from Game 3 to Game 4.
So it's like that. I want to like be fun and say, because I do think kind of things have just gone the Celtics' way in the series. Like aside from Game 1, it's just one of those things. Like the ball is just bouncing their way. I could see the Mavs making things interesting if they got one. Like if they got one game,
if they went tonight,
and then you have a game
you
5
one in Boston, you're winning
for
game
sure.
6.
I for sure think that like they're capable of going into a game 5 and beating Boston in there. But the way that he like acted in that game is, I'm just like, all right, well, he can't act like that for 4 straight games, and he has to play the way he's been playing, and the role players have to all step up. And I haven't liked like PJ Washington, Gafford, Lively, and there's another big one that I'm missing. But those guys, Derek Jones. Why am I?
Or Josh Green? Are you thinking Green?
Both of them.
Okay.
But is it Derek Jones? Like, why am I saying his name right? Like, I don't. Okay, but
You
those
have Lively and Jones on there, right?
that Lively, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, all the role players. My point is, they got them there. None of them are doing anything in the finals. Part of it is because of their scheme. Part of it is because like they're forcing Luka to like go crazy, and they're forcing Kyrie to just make one-on-one plays for 48 minutes. But at some point, like enough is enough. Like they're getting enough open looks to where you can't be shooting 25% from 3.
Right.
It can't be like game 3, and I think Kyrie hit a 3, and he was the first non-Luka player to hit a 3. Is that accurate? I'm pretty sure I read that. But like, so I don't. Just doesn't look pretty. I do think the Mavs can find a way to win tonight if Luka changes his attitude to how he did in the conference finals. I think they can make it interesting.
Yeah, and I think like you were saying, he's not. You don't change overnight. I think what it'll take is a full off season of being criticized, a full off season of being told you weren't good enough, and the Mavs will then and the Mavs, even if they lose tonight, it is still a successful season for the Mavs. No one really thought they would make.
Did you
the
see
NBA
Wendy
Finals.
go at him? Did you see
No.
Wendy? So Wendy did like the same thing as Doris Burke, but it was after the game. I don't even remember what they asked Wendy, but I could be making this up completely. So we're gonna have to check this. But I feel like they asked Wendy like a random question, and he like went out of the way to be like, "Yo, let me talk about how disgusting what Luca did in Game 3 was," and he just like shit on him for like a minute and a half, like literally just like that was the whole thing. But um, yeah, I agree. I think
We still have to remember he's 25.
for sure, I for sure, but we also have said multiple times, like I've said that I think Jokic is the best player in the league and Luka's like 1B and then it's
Yeah.
everybody else. So you just can't like that stuff makes you not that way. Like in my opinion, it drops you a peg, like if it continues. But
Then what would you do in the offseason if you're Dallas? Let's say you lose tonight or you lose game 5 or you lose at some point one more game. What are you doing this offseason?
I'm getting like Udonis Haslam is the wrong example, but like some kind of veteran
Okay.
that gets it, like that fully gets it, and can kind of, like I don't even know if Al Horford is that guy for the Celtics or, but it just seems like every team kind of has that dude,
Yeah.
like the team that ends up winning it all. Like, and I know, like I even think of the Nuggets last year.
We had what, James Jones and Channing Frye,
Yeah,
like Richard Jefferson.
The Nuggets last year, I think had DeAndre Jordan. Like
Yeah.
he became, and then they had somebody else too. But so that's like one. That's obviously good, but you need a little bit better version of like a Tim Hardaway Jr. Like now you're playing him some games 4 minutes, some game 8 minutes. Let me talk about. Hold on, Game 3. Back to Game 3.
Okay.
This is the Celtics. Okay, so we're talking about the Mavs fully. Completely wrong on my end about I agree. We both said Mavs, right? We both
right,
thought the Mavs were.
and I thought some of it, from my opinion, was just how stagnant offensively they were over the first 3 rounds of the playoffs.
Couple things to give him credit for. First off, Missoula. Everybody can say whatever they want about him. That dude is the most elite timeout caller.
Yeah,
he is. I love his timeouts. Like I think it's picture perfect. If you could just copy and paste when he calls them every game, like he stops every run, he can feel out the momentum. Every time there's like 7 stops in a row, and then like he can sense his, the Tatum ISOs and the Brown ISOs that just aren't getting it done. He stops it, and then they usually come out and run a good set after the timeout, and they get a run going. That's another thing, is not only they come out of the timeouts good, it's like he times them perfect, and it's not on the coach. Like I think more times than not, you're going to call timeout, and it's like kind of out of your hands after that, after you run your set, and like the players, it's in the players' hands. But it's just not a coincidence either when it's like it seems like 80% of the time it just ends up in a Celtics run or like good stuff for them. Last night, 2 nights ago, Xavier Tillman played 11 minutes in Game 3. Switched out on Luka. Switched out on Kyrie. Like, if that would have went south for Boston and they lost Game 3 because of him playing out of absolute nowhere, he would have been ripped to shreds. And I felt like nobody talked about it. Like it was stick for me. I was like, I can't believe he's playing Xavier Tillman. And then it was play after play after play after play. Like he was getting offensive boards, hustle plays. The one-on-one ISO stops on the perimeter with those two dudes was what, to me, I was just like, holy shit. Like he might play tonight because it was just that effective. But
yeah, because Porzingis is available tonight, but you don't know how much he'll go. Definitely probably some limited minute situation. Obviously Porzingis made a huge difference in Game 1. I mean, they looked good.
I know, dude. I know.
Now,
I would have said Porzingis was trending to be MVP after Game 2.
Yeah, until he got hurt. Now, if you're the Mavericks and you have a 25-year-old superstar in Luka, and you have an older star in Kyrie, and with Kyrie's history in Cleveland demanding a trade, his history in Boston wanting out, his history in Brooklyn wanting out, would you consider selling high on Kyrie to bring younger assets of players in to help Luka, or do you try to build around what they have?
That's so hard because like you don't know the dynamics of like the Mavs, what it's actually like with their relationship with Kyrie.
You don't know if they hate each other.
You don't know any. Well, yeah, you just know nothing.
Right.
But that's like it's all dependent on the price, right? Like it's all on what are you getting back for him, because that's not a illogical thought.
No,
but
because the ages don't match up.
Right.
Because Kyrie's what, 32?
They don't match up. Kyrie's style of play, honestly, he's I don't know how much longer he has, like of maybe 3 years, right? At this
Right.
level, like where he's one of the best guards in the league. It's a thought, dude. It depends on the price. Obviously, a team that would do it is like a team that's going for it all, which
Right.
would be one of your competitors, which makes it less likely. So
Yeah, especially out west. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
so you would want to trade him to the East,
East.
and you'd want to trade it to a team that you don't think is going to the finals. So
Maybe like a Miami or,
yeah, yeah. So, but that's fun though.
or
At the end of
Cleveland.
the day, do you I would
Oh, my
please,
God.
please,
Bring LeBron and
please.
Kyrie back.
I'm on the bring Kyrie wagon all day, every day. Would you want the Mavs to win tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I want something to talk about next
I
week.
know. But so I just think I think they can win tonight. All right, it's gonna be just like I think tonight comes down to the wire. Mavs find a way to get it done. Game 5 gets interesting.
Yep.
But I could easily see the Celtics just rolling with it, and I don't think Luka's gonna act the way he did because I think he has to. It would be crazy if he doesn't feel like if he just isn't embarrassed. Like, how are you not? If you're not embarrassed a little bit, then you don't know how you're acting. And if you don't
Right.
know how you acted, then it's even a bigger issue. So I don't think he acts like that again. Tonight, he did it all season. It got to him for a minute. He was good for like 10 games. Maybe tonight
Maybe tonight it's yeah. So, hopefully we have NBA finals to talk about next week.
Yeah.
But let's get into some NBA offseason. Cavs are looking for a coach. Lakers are looking for a coach. I think the big news since the last time we recorded a pod, the Lakers courted Dan Hurley and said, "You are our guy. We want you. We're gonna throw 6 years, $70 million," which I actually think. We're talking about the grand scheme of basketball. I think it was actually kind of light.
Like they should have offered more.
Like it should have been 685, 690.
If you like really want him, right?
You're the Lakers. You have almost unlimited resources.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a salary cap for coaches.
Yeah.
So I thought they lowballed him a little bit, but they made it clear he was their guy, and then he decides, no, I'm gonna go for the three-peat and back to you.
Well, do you think this is like conspiracy-ish? I was seeing people saying this is all like Hurley wasn't taking it seriously, but now it's a win-win-win. Hurley goes back to UConn, okay? The whole fan base gets what they want.
Okay.
He negotiates with the Lakers, so now he gets more money from UConn. So there's another win. The Lakers get to make it look like they tried, like by
I don't know if the Lakers win in this though, because whoever you bring in is gonna know that they were not the actual choice.
Maybe that's like a Shams versus Woj thing.
Yeah.
Like so, like you know what I mean? Like who knows?
Yeah,
but
fair.
yeah, I don't know.
And then you have the Cavs who are also kind of affected by that. We thought James Barejo, however you pronounce his name, would be hired by now.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He's also interviewing with the Lakers.
Kenny Atkinson.
We're interviewing Kenny Atkinson.
Yep.
So it seems like the Cavs are in this holding pattern, which is interesting and concerns me because on one side, I'm glad they're taking their time, but on the other side, if you don't know who your guy is,
yeah,
it's getting a little
I feel
scary
you.
here.
I feel you. The thing from like an outsider perspective, it seems like a parallel move, right? A little bit.
Right.
It's just like you're not going out there and you're getting a big name. You're talking about some first time head coaches. You're talking about guys who were second time head coaches who didn't succeed with their first time. Like,
but that
these
probably because they didn't have players to succeed with.
For sure. It just seems like there's nobody there that has won, that has already won, that you're like, we know that this guy is capable of doing it because he has done it.
And I do think, though, Barejo has an advantage.
I want
he at least coached in the NBA, so there should be less of a learning curve. Like, the Cavs have to win now.
With the options that are out there, that's who I want because I want offense.
Redick.
I feel you, but I just don't think it was realistic. But I think the offense drastically changes if you get him. Because, I mean, like, you just can't run horn sets for 48 minutes and do we're not going to get into the whole Cavs season, but I think he just elevates you right away from, like, there's a lot of coaches that I think Budenholzer's one of them. I don't think you're a Budenholzer guy,
I'm
but
not a Budenholzer
but
guy.
like no matter what team he goes to, he goes there. They're a top 3 seed. It's just like automatic. Watch the Suns next year.
Look, I'll
Is that where he is?
yeah.
Watch him.
Well,
Watch.
I'll tell you this. My favorite tweet about Mike Budenholzer, it was a picture of him coaching on the sidelines with a 5 o'clock shadow. Sleeves are rolled up.
Have you
and the
seen
tweet-
what Quinn Snyder looks like?
Yeah, but the tweet says Mike Budenholzer always looks like a guy who has too much money on a game that he doesn't really actually understand.
That's
Like Mike
actually
Budenholzer
hilarious.
looks like a guy who's gambling on backgammon and doesn't know what it is.
That is funny.
So, like,
Okay, I feel that way about Quinn Snyder though. Like I
I'm not
do.
gonna hire him.
I feel he looks like a lunatic. Quinn Snyder looks like he did every single ounce of cocaine from Scarface and then coaches a basketball game every day.
Well, Tony Montana wouldn't allow that.
He literally does. That's what. Tell me I'm wrong,
That's
though.
a great
It is. Do that. I need another Capri Sun. And we also
Well, you
learned
drank
that
the last one.
they're making the big versions of these.
Whoa.
Did you know that? Were you
No.
there for that talk?
Oh wait, when it's like in a big bottle or something.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it tastes the same, but it's huge news.
Yeah.
Back to Capri Sun.
We are not sponsored by Capri Sun.
But we are sponsored by
No one. No, so this offseason is going to be really interesting because Kobe Altman has said for the Cavs, we're not moving the big four. We're not moving the big four. I call BS on that. I think one of them goes. I think it's Jared Allen for sure is gone. But, I don't think you can move any of these pieces until you know who your coach is going to be.
Yeah. No, I think I agree. I think I agree. I think I was talking to shout out Chris, but you're not going to come out and say like, oh, we wanted to trade Garland and we want to trade Jared Allen.
We're going to trade him.
Yeah,
Who wants him now?
So all that's just BS. Like, I want to say, and I never pay attention to this stuff, like the social media stuff that like players post and stuff, but more and more by the day, I'm like so convinced that Donovan Mitchell's here for a while.
I feel very good that some kind of extension.
Something's going on.
We don't know if it's going to be like a 5-year or does he pull a 3-year on us.
Yeah.
But
I'm fine with
the
it.
rumors
just
that
do something.
Rumors that we've read though, he's been involved in the coaching search.
Yeah.
You don't get involved in the coaching search if you want to leave.
No, I think they have like a good. I think he's getting what he wants from the organization.
Yeah,
and I think he's happy. Like, we're underrated, dude. So many people are happy.
It's a great
here.
city.
Like, I know. So many people
come
are
to Cleveland, NBA free agents and
happy.
trade targets.
Yeah, we got Jose Ramirez. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of the Guardians, still in first place,
dude.
5 games up.
I'm starting to get back into it.
Okay.
I'm starting to pay attention a lot more.
Yeah.
It's been this last couple of weeks I've been paying
because you've taken enough beatings on betting. So.
Well, they're winning. Like, they're winning, and I mean, I still walk into like they're winning, but we're gonna run into the Yankees and
You've already played the Yankees once,
so
you're gonna only run into them one more time until the
feel you.
playoffs.
I mean that I'm convinced that they're a playoff team.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, and that's
you have
fun.
to get
That's
there.
fun because anything can happen once you get there.
And if you can get,
there could be 7 Yankees players that they get in a fight with each other, and then 4 of them are out for every game. And the other 3 are just suspended for every other game.
Or you get the 2 seed and somehow the Yankees lose to another team.
Yeah, that could happen.
Possible. Or
and then that team can have their 7 players get.
Or get this, you could beat the Yankees, which I think in the playoffs, and I know we're putting the cart way before the.
Well,
horse
I mean,
here,
Kluber has no chance, right? Or not Kluber.
Whoa,
Bieber has no chance, right?
No,
like
he's
it's
done. He's done.
I figured. But like that's like where my hope goes. I'm like, if you had him, then I feel like maybe because then you can just beat him with starting pitching and your bullpen sick.
Well, you're not gonna. Okay, so this is what I think happens in the playoffs, assuming they don't trade for a starter.
I can't believe we're talking about baseball this long.
All right,
but go on. I like it.
You got Bibby, your number one.
Yeah,
he can compete with anyone.
Yep.
Gavin,
is it Bibby or Bibby?
Bibby, I think Bibby.
I thought it was
Tanner.
All right,
Tanner starts game 1.
Yeah.
All right, fine, good. Gavin Williams. He's making another rehab start, I think, in a couple of days. He should be back by the end of the month. He slots in at number 2. So those 2, you have normal starters.
Yeah.
Game 3 in a playoff series is where it's going to get really weird because you have a guy like Tristan McKenzie who he's had a real up and down year. I honestly think in a playoff start, they ask only 3 or 4 innings from him, and then they just go bullpen. Or they have him and Ben Lively piggyback a little bit, and you're going to see the Guardians do some really weird stuff in the playoffs. Like almost 2016 Andrew Miller weird, but with multiple guys filling that role instead of Andrew Miller.
For Tanner to pitch game 4s, how much rest would he get in between? Or is that not a thing?
No, so games 1 and 2. Okay, so game 1 and game 2 would be on consecutive nights. So game 2 is 1 day rest. You have the off day in between games 2 and 3, so it's 2. Then you have game 3. So he would go on 3 days rest,
Okay.
which I don't think you would want to do.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, good. Just keep winning. Keep winning. Did we want
one more comment I do want to make is, we're talking about the playoffs already, but at the trade deadline, they could be buyers. They have some farm systems.
Please.
Now, I don't think they get
That's all I want.
I don't think they get a starting pitcher. Though.
That's all I want.
That's so expensive.
Fine, don't.
But
Give me a bat.
They need
Give me 3 bats.
They need a right-handed bat who can hit lefties well. I don't care if that's all the guy can do. You have him DH and only play against lefties, fine. But we saw in the Marlins series on the Friday night game, they started a left-handed starter, and then they went lefty, 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 and we lost, so we couldn't hit for crap. So I think that is the one weakness they really need to adjust before the playoffs. They need a right-handed bat who can hit lefties. It doesn't matter what else he can do. All right, I've already enough with baseball.
That's interesting.
McLovin.
This is only my second time ever wearing this shirt. Where do you think the first time was?
Vegas.
Taylor Swift in Paris.
And for all you Gen Zers, I'm sorry you don't know who McLovin is.
Yeah, it's messed up if you don't know who McLovin is. Did you want to talk about Caitlin Clark? Oh, golf too. Yeah. Golf.
Which one would you like to talk about first?
Let's do Caitlin. Let's get the basketball.
How do you feel about Caitlin Clark? She struggled a little bit. Now she's left off the Team USA roster. She's throwing games up where she's shooting like 3 of 11, 7 points.
So I honestly don't think she's struggling.
Okay.
I think I've absolutely watched more WNBA than I have in my entire life combined up to this point. I've watched a couple of her games. I think like more often than not, she's playing well. Like she plays her part. Their team is awful. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're always as bad as I watch them.
4-10, 4-11.
It sounds accurate.
Yeah.
But I feel like she kind of does her job. The whole like her getting bullied thing and all this media BS that's happened in the last couple of days about like now they're talking about like race and all that stuff. Like that stuff is unreal to me. Like how this is even getting like thrown into the picture right now. Like, but
everyone kind of gets roughed up a little bit. I mean, they did to Jordan
for sure.
The Pistons literally had rules to beat him up,
and like
LeBron got beat up by the Pistons.
It's like she is substantial. Like she looks like a true, like when the high school guys used to come into the NBA, like type rookie. Like she's smaller than the other girls. Like you can see, but I don't think she's getting bullied. Like I still think she's getting, like her skill set is more than viable. Like she's gonna be one of the top 3 players in the league very shortly. I think the Team USA thing is bullshit. I was
gonna ask you a question. Do you think she's gonna be closer to Steph Curry, or don't get too mad at me for saying this, Danny Ferry?
Steph Curry.
Okay.
For sure.
Because Danny Ferry, who the Cavs
I thought you were going to say, I'm not as mad as that one. I thought you were about to say DeJuan Wagner. And I was like,
no, DeJuan Wagner wasn't his fault.
Don't you dare.
Danny Ferry, it's because we traded for him from the Clippers, gave him a big contract, at least big at the time, took up all our cap space. I think he just came off the bench for 10 years.
I think that if any common basketball fan who like knows anything about basketball watches one game of hers, you'd be like, oh, like she looks fine. She's sick. Like she's really good. Like like nobody, but she does have like 2 ugly stat lines that are like bad. Her team sucks, but I couldn't disagree more with the Team USA stuff. Like, how would you not bring that attention to your brand? Like, and it's not. I do think she's one of the best like 12 or 15 players. Like on top of all that, but. They said they like left her off because it's not a popularity contest. 2 of the girls on the team, I think, didn't even play a game this year. So what they were like saying she wasn't good enough, but she is good enough. Like she's absolutely good enough to be on that team. Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team.
That's because they hated Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, but like, there's like if you really did equate it to Team USA every year for the men's side, there are people on the men's side way lower skill like that
you-
are on that team. You know what I'm
Do you
saying?
think she's worried about exhaustion?
No, it's not her. It's them. They didn't
Oh,
choose her.
okay. But
Yeah,
you think
like
they're worried about her being
no,
exhausted? Okay.
no. I think they just like straight up were like almost trying to make like a statement, like that she's not ready for it. But like I don't know who's watching those games now in America. Like if she was playing, people are watching those games and you're winning. Your team is better. And she's going to be on that team probably every year for the rest
Yeah.
of her life. So why not start like let her feel it out now
Yeah.
even if you think she's at the bottom. It makes
Because
zero,
I mean, it's the most dominant team in Olympic sports, like the
For
U.S.
sure.
women's basketball.
yeah.
Like, they always win gold.
Yeah. So it's just stupid. So yeah, that out of the way. And then like, did you see like the one flagrant hit when the one girl like shouldered her?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think that was like a big deal. I almost thought Caitlyn flopped a little bit. Like I mean, I didn't think she flopped, but like she was. I thought like it was just complete.
We had a
overreaction.
banner be Caitlin Clark Faker.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's. But I mean, I think that's enough WNBA for now. But
All right, golf.
golf,
U.S.
yeah.
Open.
Scotty Scotty and Brooks just made the cut.
Yep.
Rory was hot until today.
Shot +2 today.
Yeah, I mean, into the weird bogey on 18. I want Rory to win. I don't have any other rooting interest in it. I want Rory to win. Like, dude has struggled forever. Like, he's in a slump. He's feeling it a little bit. Great stuff. He just got back together with his wife. I don't know if you saw
All
that.
right.
They like filed for divorce and they just like didn't. They like pulled it this week, which
Good
I
for
think
them.
is like weird to be very public information. But
It goes through the court system.
but like I don't know. It just I love Rory. Like I want him to win one. Like it's a good one for. And plus, the only other Patrick Cantley I don't want to win, and he's at the top right now. And Bryson is the other big name at the top.
So what's interesting about the U.S. Open in the last 5 years? 4 out of the 5 last champions, with the exception of John Rahm, never won a major before, and haven't won one since.
Really?
So it's been really interesting where someone just kind of comes out of nowhere, wins it, and then goes back into nowhere.
Yeah.
So, maybe that happens again.
What about Brooks? Did you say something about Brooks?
No, Brookson hasn't won the last 5 years.
Okay.
So watch out for maybe some of your smaller names on this one.
Yeah.
Who those smaller names are, I don't really know.
I mean, the course is outrageously hard. Like Scotty's +5. That's all you need to know. Scotty, that's impossible.
Watch he comes back and wins it or whatever.
He like first ever person to like win the tourney, like just making the cut.
I mean,
If anybody's gonna do it, he's gonna do
the
it.
leader's +5 or -5.
The leader, yes.
So he's 10
Dude,
off.
that's not.
That's
You think
not,
that it's? I feel like it's not that crazy.
they come back, they finish -1, -2. He comes up.
I don't know. Are we looking at Scotty lines right now? What is it? I need to know. But like, I do. Well, Brooks is at the same spot. So if one of them gets hot, that would be like just a fun story. Like was it Justin Thomas? Somebody had a crazy comeback there a couple years back. But Rory, I'm Rory all the way. I hope that he plays sick tomorrow, and then because Sunday's gonna be pressure no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Rank this.
What's
better, Capri Sun or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
Dr. Pepper is now the second favorite soda in America. It passed Pepsi. Coke is number 1.
Coke, Dr. Pepper.
Coke, Dr. Pepper.
I think I might be Dr. Pepper over Coke.
I am too, but Coke is still pretty good.
Yeah.
My hierarchy goes Dr. Pepper and then regular Coke.
It's like crazy how much I like pop for how bad it is for you.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's so good.
That
but it's
crispness.
so bad. But I went from like, I didn't have a pop like all of high school. Like not one pop.
Yeah, you were working out with Delvon Rowe.
And then in college, I feel like I didn't have a lot of pop. And now,
yeah, you were practicing with CS. You're practicing Norris Cole.
yeah.
Like,
And now I have Capri Sun as like an appetizer for a Dr. Pepper.
you're doing a podcast with me.
Right.
There we go. We found the correlation.
All right. Let's go watch game 4.
All right.
Shoot it, baby.